movement. So resay what you just said.
Okay, so I can even give you a little bit just for a little bit of a teaser. Mitzvah Hashem, the way he's envisioning it, he has four big rooms that end up, and in each of these rooms, obviously, will be an entirely its own immersive experience. But he says the architecture of the rooms, they themselves will help immerse you in the narrative, in the story. The first one is going to be this big, massive dome-like room. In it, as actually Shlomo Ryan has pointed out, what's remarkable is that he came to this on his own. He's separate and apart from Shlomo Ryan's. But he has the idea that in this room, that the whole room is a massive dome, and the entire dome obviously is screen, is one massive screen. So entirely, you're like within, entirely in this space. But not only is the dome around you a screen, the floor is also. So you're entirely suspended in this animation. And it takes you through Brias Ha'elam. But it starts with a cheshech, but the cheshech is not a quiet cheshech. It's a cheshech with potential. There's things, waves, things, whatever it is. And as it goes through Brias Ha'elam, different things, there's something called 4 dimensions. This so far we're talking about 3 dimensions. So you're talking about 4 dimensions. And this is done in a few places where unexpectedly you start to actually physically feel the experience. If there's, for example, a rush of waves, there's a spritz of water and you're actually feeling the water. So all of a sudden it's like you're transported in a whole different level, in a whole different way into the experience. Clouds, and there's a mist that fills the room or whatever it is. And you live through the whole Ma'aseh Bereishis, whatever it is, which leads and the Brias Ha'elam, etc., and seeing the Eibishter, the Oyer Eliki and Brias Ha'elam. But then, to a certain degree, it becomes about you. It's not about the cosmic story, it's about you. Because then, the one door that opens up to move you to the next thing is a very narrow corridor. You can only go in one at a time. So you go from the Klaus to the Pratis, and you walk through the story. What?
This is when we taste the Eitz Hadas?
No, that's when Mashiach comes. Then we get to take the Eitz Hadas for real.
That's what I'm talking there. Right away, we go straight to it.
Yeah. So you go, and then it's about the fact that you're the nitzutz. That Oyer Eliki is now inside you. You're the nitzutz Eliki. And his lashon that he kind of wants to do is you're the ambassador of light. You're the ambassador of the spark, or whatever it is. Derech lashon of a shliach, but basically you're the one that at that point. So that's the second one talks to you about the nitzutz in you. Is going to have a thing where, for example, the camera is taking a video of you, so that what then gets put up on the walls is your silhouette with a nitzutz burning inside of you. It's your own nitzutz, like you're waving, it's waving back, but in the middle of it you see Pashut, in your silhouette is the nitzutz. So the nitzutz is you.
Wouldn't it make sense? I'm sorry, Sunny. Wouldn't it make sense to have the vad of Teichen on when you were discussing these things?
So to a certain degree, again, the pratim is going to be added. He's just creating whatever it is, and ultimately all this could change in the sense that, etc. But he has to create something that gives the big donors a sense of the potential of the space and what could be built. Either way, he says, so you go from a massive circle, a massive dome. He says each one of these places is going to have a shape into a narrow rectangle, this corridor that walks you through your story, that introduces you to yourself and who you truly are. You're the nitzutz. The next one is going to be about what you can do, your koyach, mitzvahs, to not only have the light but spread the light and use the light to transform. And there's going to be a triangle with a point at top, but the point at top can only be held up by the walls on the side. So you're going into this triangle shape, and he says that part of this is going to be this interactiveness, where on the one, in a sense, down one of the walls is going to be coming down, is going to be, in a sense, elements of the Welt that are missing your spark. You are then going to interact with it somehow, a game or whatever, an experience, like whatever it is, but you're going to add your spark to these things, and they're going to come up the other wall, lit up. They're going to come, at that point nisbader, as it were. And that's going to lead to the grand final chamber, the destination, the times of Mashiach, which is going to be this spiral going up. You're going to walk up this spiral with everything of the Gula, but it's taking you ever higher, it's more and more, and there's going to be a central pillar of light. The whole thing is that the theme is light. The light is going to be carrying all the way through. The great light to the nitzutz within you, to you then spreading the nitzutz out, to then the pillar of light carrying through the whole spiral of the unending spiral of the Gula and its limitless potential. That even as you're standing in one particular place, there's still limitless potential to go. And on this, in the experience, you're going to experience the Yehudim of the Gula as you're climbing up this spiral.
Yes,
which is basically the Gula, that it's the way we understand happily ever after. That it's not ever after as in like it's one thing that's just going to stay and just going to drag on forever and be boring. It's going to constantly build and grow and et cetera, et cetera. The things that you're going to experience it's going to only grow and grow and grow. I even had the idea that if he's using the spiral, you can take al derech, but again, this is for the Anshe Teichen and for the Chevra like al Gershon Eichhorn to then take from the Anshe Teichen to the Poel Mamish and give him eitzes, etc. But like al derech, you have this screen that again, as you're coming around the spiral, you now are floor higher, right? But let's say the screen is carrying up from floor to floor. So as you come around it this time, it's the Gar Zeva Makeves as it is Shibud Malchi is Bilvad. And then you come around the second time, and it's Tkufa Shnia as Gar Zeva Makeves in the way of Shino Yativim. The Tkufa Shnia. So you're coming around to the same point, but at this point it's on a whole different Ramah. And you're climbing through the experience, as it were, etc. But in other words, this is a man with an incredible vision who understands how to not only, and he also talked about other places that he did, but he has an understanding how to use even the architecture to tell the story. Like the idea that you go from this grand room where first of all, it's necessary because let's say the whole group comes off the bus. They need to come into one place, and they need to get a sense of the grandeur of what they're going to experience here. But then, with putting people in to a hallway which can only pass through one at a time, l'chein nivra adam yichidi, right? You have to understand that it's not relying on anybody else; it's relying on you. Right, and the whole time he says, by the way, as soon as you come in, you get an official card that deems you the ambassador of light with your name on it, and it says that you have this. It's your first souvenir from the experience is a card with your name on it that says, you're the official, you so and so is the official ambassador of light, whatever it is, whatever. But he's also creating. All this is within a prospectus, or what we call an executive summary, or executive presentation, to be able to give to potential big donors to get them excited. So he's using expressions and is making it clear that this is not going to be just an experience that you're going to have an immersive experience. By the time you walk out, you're having the transformative experience. You go on a journey that is actually your journey. It's the journey you're already going on. You just don't realize. By going on this journey, you're then aware that you are on this journey, and that ultimately it's a transformative experience, which is really to transform you into yourself. That you should understand that the way you are right now, or the perspective you have on yourself, what you're doing, whatever it is the incorrect one. This transforms you into who you really are and what you really is, et cetera, et cetera. And then after you come to this grand crescendo, I think he put it like this. He says, within you is the power to change your surroundings, and when we all do it together, we have the power to change the world. The light within you has the power to transform your surroundings. And when we all do this together, we transform the world. And that you, whatever it is, and when that is Mashiach. And he says, and it fears ice and clara ice. It's not like he's afraid to touch on the thing, but he says that is Mashiach. That's what we're all working with, and so Al Derech he leaves you saying, "It's nem to the marbet." Now,
I'm sorry. Does it in the visuals? I guess he's going through the history of the world with the different colors, with the different stages where we were as a people, as Am Yisrael, and the way where we are today, or is it all abstract?
No. So he leaves it abstract at this point because this is the skeleton. The specifics, as they say, to put the flesh and the muscles on this, that's going to be a very good understanding that it takes the Teichen. He wants to just create the general structure, exactly what's going to be on the screens as you're passing through each thing, or whatever it is, or what is it you're interacting with, what is it you're engaging, what is the information, what is the text that you're seeing, etc. All that has to be hammered out. This is. But I want to just give you a sense of his vision. And I think to a certain degree, he's already gone beyond where I was thinking. The idea to use the shape of a room to sell it, to make a narrative, to work that into the experience is something. I say that's why you have professionals. That's why you have somebody like that.
Is basically looking at 3 rooms.
4.
The first 4. Hold on. You had the initial big dome, right? Yes. Then you have the corridor that is about you, and then you come to this triangle.
The triangle, which is your Aveda.
And then comes the staircase. Okay. All right.
The spiral, but the spiral is the big one. That's going to be, that spiral is going to be of all the rooms, and each room carries its own wow, right? Each room is its own, like the massiveness of the first room, right? In a sense, right? There's the big scope of the first room. The awakening of the second room, that it's really all about you ultimately, and you go through this long corridor, and you don't get out of the corridor until you learned the lesson. It's like it becomes very intimate and very much about you and your and it's your story. That's the incredibly that's a wow in of itself. It's like
we're going through the tunnel.
You're going through the tunnel of right, almost like the Cheshkas Hagolus is so that you become, the Tzimtzum is so you become aware of yourself. It allows it helps make the point that it's not just mipnei chato'enu, that the Golus, that the Cheshech is not purely a mistake, a detour, whatever it is. It's almo given. This symptom is so that you zero in, and you're not. You understand that you can't be a spectator. You've got to be the one who walks the path individually.
I think people will, unfortunately or sadly, whatever it is, but mamish, the whole concept of tunnels is something that people will relate to. No, I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm very serious. That's the whole message of the tunnels. The whole message of the tunnels is to find the light in the tunnel. That's what's Meister was.
You
think about those Gochaprot is that just before the Gula, the whole world is talking about tunnels. And I'm not only talking about the tunnel in
That's a very good point.
This in itself is important, but the whole the state of mind. People now, tunnels is something that stops me to think.
1 minute. It started with 770. Which one's first?
No, but
go
think
together.
But you're saying is a very real point. Think about the fact that so many of these chavras say they found the Eibishter dafke when they were forced to that mitzvah.
You see, remember we were talking about people didn't even know they're in Golos? They had to go to the tunnel and say, oh yeah, you were in a dark place. Many people don't know.
But the beautiful thing is that the next step is to show that the tunnel is not to the mitzamtzim sein, right?
It's to get the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's more than to get the light at the end of the tunnel. It's because there's a step before this. It's that you have to then find your koyach to take yourself out of the tunnel, which is what the triangle is. and understand that you're the base that holds up the pinnacle. The top of the whole nakuda of a triangle is that it's the bottom that holds up the top. So it's kumfandir, whatever it is. And then lastly,
it's quite interesting.
It's very interesting.
Now, how high does he want to do this spiral?
I don't think we have much of a choice. Obviously, this is all based on the limitations of the space. I think as it is right now, the Armon is either 2 to 3 floors. Believe it or not, it doesn't need to. It doesn't necessarily need to, because first of all, 2 full floors of doing a big long sivuv and seeing and experiencing the whole thing as you're going up. Doesn't that could very well be plenty. Don't forget, you also have to keep in mind that you're going on an upward incline, right? It's not stairs. It would be like a ramp. But either way, it can make it that people are like, what, another 3 of these to go? So, but the point is, if I can't.
Andy, are you thinking about people my age, or what is it?
They'll have elevators. Hold on, we can have elevators.
There has to be a floating carpet.
Right. By the time you get even to the bottom, Mashiach Gichin Tomen and Yemolt is,
way before that.
Anyway,
now, just one quick question. What's the plan to come down from there? Are we staying there on top?
No, I actually think that ultimately many museums, what ends up happening for Kert, all the good ones do this move. That you end up at the end of the museum on a different floor than you started.
On a high. You end up on a high. I mean,
first of all, because it also helps do as follows. Let's say the rest of the first floor, the second half of the first floor, is dominated by the entrance lobby, et cetera, et cetera. You come to the second floor, let's say Lamazagin, there's the workshop room. You come after that, and Lamazagin, the group has a time to stay around. You then bring them into a room where they can sit and discuss. So what is our goal? You can make presentations, et cetera. So you don't want to be having it coming right back to the same space where people are being let out into the same place.
To go to the place. Unless you have to find your own way out.
Right. No. So what happens is you let out on the second floor, and then you can either take the escalators down, the elevators down, or what have you. There's a million ways. But all the really good ones have you actually ending up so that it doesn't create a jumble of humanity all in the same space. Some going in, some going out. It's a balagan, whatever it is.
Hold on. I know it might be a crazy idea. Maybe it makes sense to start off Meil Chatchila on the 3rd floor and then go down Dir B'Tachtenim. Maybe to get down to this world.
No, but Dir B'Tachtenim is only now, in a sense.
The Avodah is going down is now, then it's going up.
But then the Geula spirals up.
Is going up.
So hold on a minute. It might. Hold on. We're going up or we're going down? We're still staying here. You want to get the idea that you're here, but you're going up still.
No. Each Schleppman der Eibishter up. And später man nimmt the ganze Tachtenim and we're elevating the whole Tachtenim. The Tachtenim Geula is now that we're beschaffen the Adira B'Tachtenim. Now the whole Tachtenim can sich aufkriegen.
I said they shouldn't get the idea that they're going to different elements. They're going to go, okay, we went. This is what it called, and then we're going to keep on going to the different worlds.
Rabbi Yisrael Jacobson vielleicht sagen, dass hier Chile sagt, die ganze Wogigkeit ist in der Tachtoinim, vielleicht zu sagen. So we have to stay down here. The idea is, I think Isaac is bringing up a good point. The idea is not that we're going up. The whole idea is that the up is coming down. It means that the ultimate gilu is down here.
But then we take that tachtenim and that's the nekuda. The gilu, the geula hebt on da b'tachtenim.
I think
as the geula progresses, we go nidrike, we go hecher and hecher.
No, but we stay here. But this is where these galus is. This is where the etzim wird this galut dafke da.
No, but
ain't so bad. This galut dafke da in oile mazeh agashmi.
100%. But that's the moment of the geula. But lamazagin geula comes tafshin pei vav. Okay. Tafshin pei zayin nach nidriker. See, we geht aufheben the nidrikkeit zu sein nach hecher und nach hecher. Tafshin pei vav geht sein da. Toshim Pei Zayin geht sein, als man nimmt the da und man hebt das auf it.
Okay, I think this is a very important discussion about the Hoige Days. I'm serious. I mean, this has to be very clearly thought out. Are we presenting how the world is being elevated above? Are we presenting that the whole thing is the Gila Shechina should be the Matador?
No, but the Gila Shechina is what makes the Gula. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the Gula, in time of Gula, are we going to go in Shemayim or are we staying here?
No, we're not going in Shemayim.
No, we're not going in
Shemayim. We're not going in Shemayim. We're not going in Shemayim.
But we're going up.
The audits gate then hecher und hecher. We're starting with. No,
but I'm picking up where Isaac said, the image that we're creating. That's the point.
The image that we're creating
that idea that we're going up and up and up and up and up. It sounds like
we're not. Only once the Geula happened already.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Just do the opposite.
No, the
start
Geula,
off high and then come down. That's what I think. I don't know. Talk to the people.
If I can, then you're saying that once the Geula happens, we're going to spiral downward. No, we're not.
No, they can keep on saying no. They can keep on going and keep on turning and have something that keeps on going. You can do that.
No, but I don't think we stay in the same place. Every tekufa is
changes.
Hecher.
Right. So that can happen also with a video. It keeps on changing.
Why can't we go hecher? Why can't we go hecher?
Because it gives the wrong message. That's what I think.
It's not the wrong message at all.
I don't know.
It's not the wrong message. It's not true. We're not saying now. If you want to say that in the beginning, as we're going, that we go down till the Ein Sof L'Matei Menu, and that's where these galus happens in the Tachtenim in Tachten L'Matei Menu. So that moment starts at the lowest point in the museum. I agree with that, Nakuda. That's Nakuda. We krichten the Mevar Berurim and the Dira B'Tachtenim, etc. But the kunz is once we make it a Dira, it's not a Tachten anymore.
Okay, so but the whole point.
At that point, it doesn't. Es geht nicht noch niedriger und noch niedriger. The Tachtein allein kriegt hecher und hecher.
By the way, before
doesn't stay a Tachten.
Sandy, I heard you. I suggest you call Gershon Archon and the people on the VAD of the Teichen and tell them what you think, because he's going to make a whole plan based on that. Yet.
We don't have Gershon Archon and we don't have what's it called. We don't have a Gershon Archon and we don't have Simon Jacobson, because the Vaila, I'm not going to come to Gershon Archon until we have this paperwork. And to Simon Jacobson, somebody's got to pick up the phone and call him. Somebody who knows him, and whose phone call he will take.
When do you think it will be ready? When do you think it will be ready? When do you think
the paperwork could be ready in a couple of days? It was more or less ready now. There's a question. We said, 1 second. We said
if there won't be anybody else to call Simon, I'll call him. I prefer to be somebody else, but if there's nobody else, I'll call him.
No, the shaila is there none of our chevra that are somebody that he can't say no to? And I know, of course, you can say no to everybody. Give me 1 second. The shaila is who's the person he will say no to least? Do we have who among us is that? 1 second.
To his credit, I know Simon. I've called him many times, and he seldom said no, depending on what it is. He actually is one who looks at the subject, not just at the address and the label.
Agreed 100%. Having said that, everybody is still nispal from the messenger. In other words, I agree with you. And if it comes down to that we're sitting there and we don't, and nobody, whatever it is, then of course, then we can't do that. The shaila is just, for example, let me just put it to you this way. Do you think you are Yassel Zaltzman for example, will grab his attention initially more completely. More importantly, it may not be fakert. It may be that Yossel Zaltzman will grab his attention, but he won't make the case as good as you will. The shaila is, who's the best person to take this to him, so that, because we only get one chance, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, and it's very important. Somebody like that on board is a milas in a lot of different ways. It adds immediate universal gravitas to the project. It is the best person that we can have, that we feel we can be semich, that as somebody who was maniach nun aleph and nun beis, that the clutter ICS of the Rebbe on this thing will be represented properly. He is the right person for many different reasons, and the shaila is, if we're going to take a swing at this, let's make sure we're giving ourselves the best shot.
As I said, I can't speak about anybody else. I don't know what Yossel Zaltzman's relationship, if and what he has with him. I don't know. As I said, I'm comfortable calling him, and usually he picks up the phone when I call him.
Okay, so I think if we don't have anybody else who we think is for sure a slam dunk, then within the next 48 hours, before the Chav Kislev, before Shkia and Chav Kislev, then you should pick up the phone and call. I think that's where we're at. I think it's very important, because why do I say this also? Because when I say this, so he was asking, what is the important things that we feel is important to include in this prospectus, this 8-9 page prospectus with a kind of a brief slideshow that goes to key supporters, the thing that he's working on right now. So one of the things it says is that you have a lot of the klalos, but it's also good to give some specifics, just so you give a te'ima of it. Like the way you describe that first room, I told him, the way you described the first room with the screen on the floor and the fog and all that helps a person understand the scope and the magnitude of what you're thinking over here, and allows them to realize that you're on an entirely different level than they probably even first realized. So I said that, he said, well, for that, you really don't want to be saying that in words. You want to create a video that you can show, a minute-long video, not a whole long 5-minute promo video of the whole Maisa. But if you want to do that, you're right, you have to do a minute-long video. And so it said, the next obvious question was two things. How much is it going to cost, and how quickly could it get ready? He says it could be ready within a month. In terms of how long it's going to cost, how much it's going to cost, he has to get back to us. But the more important thing is that while he was able to create most of what we talked about just now, without an official Teichen committee, although he went in one direction originally, and then by the time Bolton and Reinitz and me finished with him, it looked a lot. This is the second go around, and it's a lot more tzumzach than the first one, which is not his fault. He's just not a Chabad Chassid, so he didn't have the same ice cook. Now he has a lot better. So even that needed substantial amount of remarks and direction. The video, he shouldn't begin creating a video without
clarity, sure,
without counsel, and
without a clear direction, a clear point.
Yeah, and with what, because he's going to be getting into more specifics in the video. That's part of the kunz, and the video is something that automatically sells something, even if it's only a minute long. It sells it a lot more real, and so we need to make sure it's selling the right narrative. So ultimately, that is why, if he does come back and say that he's ready to do this, and we like the price point, we need to immediately say, and here's the guy you're going to be working with whenever you have questions, if you're getting the right point or not. And so that's why it's very important that we get Simon or anybody else like that on board. The person that we're comfortable with has to get on board right away.
Look, right now I'm actually traveling. I'm in Argentina right now. since I haven't traveled for a long time.
Lately, the way you should say things is, I happen to not be traveling right now. Okay,
usually traveling in the car, by the way. Usually in the car traveling.
No, this is Baruch Hashem.
Actually, I was just asked before by my sister in Etzisol. I was giving my Tanya share. She said, "Hold on, you said you're going to Argentina. You went by plane or you went by car?"
Oh.
Okay. So anyway, so I don't know. I'm supposed to travel back tomorrow. So I don't know. And I know that similar. Get Yamtev.
Entschuldigt, I'm late. Very late.
Wait, there's too much Go'enas coming out of one screen over here. You and Levi can't be in the same screen. It's too much. It's too filled.
If you don't get, must somebody ring the bell? Or that's in case, as I said, in case you don't come up with anybody better, whatever it is, I'm comfortable calling Simon, but I know he's traveling. I think he's in Etzisol tonight or tomorrow. I think today. He has a big Farbrengen in Besemeto Shagodl in Etzisol. And I think tomorrow night he's somewhere else. It wasn't last night. I saw one night after the other. One of them actually was supposed to be in Montreal, and one of them is in Etzisol. So I guess he will not be reachable so easy at this moment.
And you can't have a Shnei Meishel Bekipa Achat. So the second that Zura Bezusha heard that he's coming to Montreal, he went to Argentina.
I left. No, I think he heard that I'm leaving, so he decided to come.
All right, but anyways, I think within the next 24 to 48 hours, we really need to make that move.
Right? So the Vater Chassidische Farbrengen, ein bisschen lang reiten, so the more darf man, right?
Yeah, sicher, kein Yeshna. But I think ultimately that's a very important next step. I think that's the next most important step. Is now that we know that Ron is Yetzel Derech, he's doing an amazing thing. Now the biggest chesaron will be to not give him the direction he needs, because Avinashtvi, he's not a chassid. He's very excited about this project. He's very excited about the direction of it. He's in telling the story. He's so excited about telling this story.
Let me. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, Sandy. If Chas v'Sholem, whatever it is, Simon says no. What's our second plan? What's our fallback position? Who is the next person?
It's a good question. I
don't only think it should be only Simon. It just be Simon is a good person, and Tzvi Freeman is an important person on this. Laser Gorkov could be a good asset. I don't think as the Laser Simon
and Gershon. Like I said, Gershon Arfon. You don't want to reach out to him.
No, we need Gershon Arfon. We need the Rosh Hashanah of the
the brains behind the concepts being conceptualized and brought into expression in the
no, but it's more than that. It's not only that.
Steve Freeman might actually be a very good person on two levels. Yeah. He has a good grasp of the whole notion, the whole concept of Mashiach and Geula, and he also has this visual with his tunes, with his videos, with his tunes, etc. He also has a way of thinking and presenting it visually, not only the concept, which is necessary.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I agree that he definitely is a very key asset in this thing. But he's not Simon in the sense that Simon is going to say, no, das ist nicht der Nekuda. Das ist nicht der Nekuda. Lo yeradet l'seifein. You did not capture it correctly. Why? Because he can come from Das Elyon in a way that Tzvi Freeman cannot. He can Chassidus first and foremost, versus Tzvi Freeman, who's going to come from Abyssal de Fakertenzin. We need, if it's not like a laser Kurkov, Reb Zusha, maybe your Adam, is shaykh to this, but somebody was ken sehr gut chassidus and will understand that if you don't touch on this nekuda, hast du nicht gehabt, if this is not properly expressed, it's more what we need first and foremost, like with because we have already a person who can be mamchish in yonim, that's Ron. What's felt is the person who can say very clearly, these the Das Elyon must be there. And I think that Simon, for example, I don't know how good he is in being in creating a hafaka gashmit of these Indian, but that's good. That's not what we need. We have Ron for that.
There's this young man in Tzfas. What's his name? He keeps on sending out. A younger manchikel in Tzvaz, he sends out constantly his the mechaber behind the Sefer
In Yonah Shel Mashiach.
In Yonah Shel Mashiach. What's his name? No.
Shalom de Bervolf.
Berle Wolf, he has the inyanim at the tip of his fingers.
Mm-hmm. But the shaila is, Beryl Wolf, is he enough? I don't know him at all, so it could be. But somebody's got to answer this question. Does he have the same Weltschaft that Simon has?
That's where Beryl Wolf, that's where he doesn't have. But I think he can definitely be part of the Tzavis. He has the Clarkite of Chassidus, but it's all, I think, more in Oisius of Chassidus. Simon has a certain blend of Oisius.
Yeah, Simon is the ideal because
it brings it down to reality. Yeah,
he has and so I was saying in the same vein of a Simon is Zusha, is maybe your Adam, is maybe
I agree with you. He would be good, but there is also another advantage. There's a mile in Simon from a sales perspective. If you go to someone and say Simon is behind the brain. Simon is the brain, in terms of like the rayon and the teuchen. People trust. If you're going to come up with anybody else, it does not have the same broad respect that Simon carries, and that's why Simon has definitely a great advantage in terms of.
So the shaila is. Who's second place to Simon in that regard? Has name recognition, is like Laser Gurkov, somebody who has that, definitely not on the level of Simon, but has
Definitely not. Look, so let's go for the top. Let's climb that staircase. Bli neder, unless somebody else feels really comfortable to call him. Ich will nicht sein beleidigt, that Simon will listen more to somebody else than to me. Ich will sich nicht beleidigen. But if, as I said, if no, I'm comfortable calling him. But I have to find out when would be the good time. I guess probably by Thursday, depends where he is. If he's in Etzisrol or not, I'm gonna reach out to him.
Okay.
So let me know. Let me know if you came up with another idea. Just send me a message or WhatsApp. No, we think maybe so and so should call him, and we'll take it from there.
Very good, very good. Reb Ruvain.
Yeah, I gotta hop on Mamas now on a meeting.
Okay, you're feeling you feel that when you reached out to Simon, he saw and did not.
I don't know if he saw. I don't know, because I once approached him for something really that very oidus the Toyodig, and I think he was like, "Oh wow, you're out of your mind." So I'm afraid, I don't know.
Next time, by the way, he says that, you respond, "Yeah, and so are all of us, including you."
You're working on a candlestick.
We can all be out of our mind and have nothing to do with others that tell you.
During the first Trump reign, we approached him. Guys in Eretz Yisrael was actually leading a whole story. The guys were trying to make that he should influence, because through Kushner, he had someone who had a connection that we should, through Jared Kushner, to get an official office in the White House that belongs to the Rebbe. It was like a whole wild idea.
I think this is a bizarre. I'm sorry, Ruben.
I believe we could have gotten it done, but
I think it's a bizarre.
By the way, this is being recorded. By the way, this is being recorded.
I have no problem with this being recorded. I really think that this is a bizarre. The Rebbe should have a place in a market was full of sheker with klippe with alles.
But
in a place of politics, it's the Hepech White House, with all due respect, is a place of politics. Politics is a synonymous, is another word for sheker. And the Rebbe doesn't belong there at all.
The idea they were coming from was from the idea of Bayal Pare. That there is a sleeper. There's a whatever. The idea was coming from.
Behind halt man beieinander da im Ganzen. Behind halt man, wer Pare kommt zum Rebbe. Nicht wie Bayal Pare.
That's true.
But Azay is talking given. The idea should have been that we could maybe have given Donald Trump an office in the basement of 770, somewhere next to the janitor's closet.
In the Gutnick Center.
Right. Anyways, okay.
All right. No, maar had je nog de Milse de Bediches, ik heb je zo lang.
But I should, talking an Emes Elochaim,
Amen.
Okay, wrap it up. Yeah,
no,
great. Beautiful. By the way, it sounds amazing.
I mean, ultimately, again, we just have to quickly fast forward to where this is done. But when Emir Hashem this will be done, but when this will be done, this could be something that will change the face of Yiddishkeit, and Azay could change the face of this world in the sense of what the effect and impact it can have on every single person who passes through it, and having such a walking away for the first time that Mashiach is there in you. Mashiach is theirs. Yeah. It's not something they hear. It's not something.
All languages have to be nichlal in this.
That's obvious. That's obvious.
Don't forget Arabic. We're going to get the whole Middle East. It's a way to change the Middle East. It's a good selling point. I'm going to tell the Chevra.
Yeah.
You definitely need people to clean the floors. So that's why you want to have the Middle East. I mean,
anyways,
there was once a conversation here. So one guy gets up and says, "Are you already reserved, Obama?"
This is being recorded. I don't know if
all right.
Farbrengen. Wouldn't that be nice? Yittes Kislev Gole Bepel Mamish.
Amazing. Beautiful. We're getting there. Listen, this whole meeting, this is Mamish Dirib Tachtenim. It's happening. It's happening.
Tachtenim Mamish, yeah.